Good Morning Night Vale is brought to you by The Disappearances of Lydia Fontaine, a new independently produced and crowdfunded 10-episode original audio drama. Set in a deceptively familiar world of electronic surveillance and machine-mediated communication, The Disappearances of Lydia Fontaine follows Lydia Ryan and her friends, lovelorn Ethan and wannabe internet sensation Dee, as they struggle to unravel the mystery of her mother's disappearance. Escape the sinister Fontaine family, and survive the feud over her grandfather's supernatural legacy. It weaves bitter family drama and high-stakes intrigue with fantasy and cyberpunk elements to create a surreal mystery about secrets and grudges, old books, big data, and the promise of infinite knowledge. And do not forget the talking birds. It's a full-cast production with original music and a bespoke soundscape presented through a series of found-footage-style surveillance recordings. And it's important to note, this show was made entirely without generative AI. Even the computers are voiced by human actors. Episodes are free, and you can start listening right now with the Season 1 finale due to come out on August 16th. For more information, go to lydiadisappears.com. and find The Disappearances of Lydia Fontaine wherever you get your podcasts and start listening from the beginning.
Insurance isn't one size fits all, and shopping for it shouldn't feel like squeezing into something that just doesn't fit. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they show you options that fit your budget. Enough hunting for discounts, trying to calculate rates, and tinkering with coverages. Maybe you're picking out your very first policy, or maybe you're just looking for something that works better for you and your family. Either way, they make it simple to see your options. No guesswork, no surprises. Ready to see how easy and fun shopping for car insurance can be? Visit Progressive.com and give the Name Your Price tool a try. Take the stress out of shopping and find coverage that fits your life, on your terms. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Perhaps you noticed something strange yesterday.
And perhaps you have forgotten it.
Good morning, Night Vale.
Hey everyone, my name is Meg Bashwiner, and for the past 32 and a half years, I have been a person.
Hi, and I'm Symphony Sanders, and for the past 38 years, I've been a gosh darn goddess.
And I'm Hal Lublin, and I don't know what I am yet. And you know what? That's okay. This is Good Morning Night Vale, and whether you know yourself or not, this is a show where people who listen to Night Vale can hear people who are on Night Vale talk about Night Vale, and then we all listen to and read things that you have said about Night Vale, and we talk about that. It's a big Night Vale convention in your ears, and you don't have to go anywhere for it. And today, what are we talking about, Symph?
We are talking about episode 33, Cassette. Cecil finds an old cassette tape of himself at age 15, and he is surprised at what it contains. Plus, a new exhibit at the Museum of Forbidden Technologies, Children's Fun Fact Science Corner, and an important message from new station management. Let's talk about it!
Ooh, let's talk about it. This episode, definitely a lot of listener feedback on this one. This one is the one that kind of starts blowing up the world of reality and duality and possible triality and other planes of existence. Yeah, I think it's taking all of the possibilities very seriously, and so that inspires a lot of questioning regarding who Cecil is and how do we got to this place.
I have to just start with the beginning of Cecil. For a second when I listened to this episode, I was like, who's playing young Cecil? And then I was like, oh my God, it's him. Because I was like, wow, they're doing really good, Cecilisms, the way he says, the ends of words sometimes. I can't note exactly which ones they were, but there were certain things. And I was like, wow, they did a really good job of, impersonating. And I was like, damn it, Sympho, that is still Cecil.
He was just acting with a capital A.
Like, whoa.
He was really acting.
Yeah, it was really great.
I love that this episode starts out where Cecil was digging through some stored up belongings in his closet, and the things that are in there are childhood toys, blood-soaked rags, a gem the size of a fist that shows you visions of yourself as an old man staring wistfully back at the past that is your now. That kind of thing. So, yeah, he's like doing the KonMari method to his closet, and then it starts all of this up.
Isn't that what you have in your closet? I definitely have a bunch of bloody rags in there from all of the various scuffles I've gotten into. You hide a few skeletons in there, whatnot. But also we get his middle and last name, Cecil Gershwin Palmer.
Yeah,
it's a banner episode. Gershwin Palmer. There's been so much. I was trying to ask Joseph a little bit about this, and Joseph's kind of very cagey when you're like, well, what did you mean by this, or what was your intent there? How do you imagine how this went? And he's like, I don't want to talk about that because he's like, that's not for me. It's not for anyone else but me. It doesn't matter. No, I'm getting this wrong. What he's saying. I understand what he's saying, and what he's saying is it's like it doesn't matter what I think, it's how people interpret that. That's what's important, is how people are experiencing it. Mm-hmm. So I do respect that from him. But I was like, well, what was the naming process? And the only thing he would give me, he's like, I don't remember any of the things, but I wanted him to be Jewish. He wanted him to have a Jewish name.
Well, so. I'm going to commend you on your true journalistic integrity and asking the hard-hitting questions in your home, just chasing I'm imagining you like following Joseph around, like being like, answer the question, Mr. Fink.
Mr. Fink, yeah. Mr. Fink, the people need answers. Good Morning Night Vale needs answers. These people are writing us every single day, and they need the truth. Mr. Fink, if you please.
It's a simple yes or no, Mr. Fink.
But also, don't you feel like a lot of, we're very fortunate to get to go do panels. Symphony, you and I have done a number of panels together, and Meg, we've all done panels together. And a lot of times people will ask questions about the canon of the show or the reasoning behind something that you get the sense it's not necessarily because they want the truth as much as it is they want whatever their idea of it is to be confirmed and codified. I'm not saying that's what you were doing, Meg, but I could understand as a creator, as you said, being cagey for that very reason. Like, it doesn't matter what Joseph intended. And as far as you're concerned, as a listener, whatever you believe it to be, whatever your truth is around it, is correct for you. So you can, that means you can enjoy it and you don't have to worry about right or wrong. It's, the world is sort of forming around your perception of it rather than you having to clear up the picture of exactly what's going on. Because I think that's what traditional stories like the maddening thing about Twin Peaks for people who watch traditional mystery stuff is they're waiting for it to be cleared up. And that's not what happens on that show.
Right.
It's just bizarre David Lynch stuff happening that you're either on board with or not on board with.
Yeah, that's the kind of culture I want to cultivate for this show, where it's like there is no right answer. We're not going to solve anything. Like, we're just kind of here to hang out in the sandbox and play with all the pieces and look at different ways that we can line things up. But it's not like my goal is never for us to be like, okay, well, this is the definitive, like, this is what Kashyyyk looks like, and this is where Cecil and Kevin have this relationship, and like Night Vale is this place and it exists this way. I think that it's more fun to talk about how we experience it and where our minds go when we absorb it.
Yeah.
And how that continues to change and develop. You know what I mean? Like, where we were at the first episode, like trying to be fresh about what we thought about Night Vale coming from where we come from with it. I'm sure we have a different experience than someone who is not in the cast, obviously. But there's just things that you have to be like, yeah, okay, I'm experiencing this right now. Because that could change. And I think that's the beauty of Night Vale, is that truthfully, maybe nothing is fixed in Night Vale. Like, yes, it's a desert community, but like, that's about it. That these people exist. Yes, but that what that means, where they come from, all those things can be changed and transformed at a moment's notice.
Or can they?
That's a good point. I have trouble, and I would imagine this is a million times more difficult for you. Like whenever I listen to it, I think about Jeffrey and Joseph, thinking this stuff out, and one or the other of them writing it. And I think about Cecil recording it. And these are people who I know pretty well, who I've spent a fair amount of time with. It's hard for me to separate that sometimes. Like, I get it. That's the angle I always come at, is maybe the same way that you do. Like, what were you thinking here? What was your intention? Because you know the people, and it's a way to, I don't know if it's feel closer to them, but maybe understand them in a different way.
Yeah, totally. I think because we know the creators and we know the creators intimately. So it's like, oh, he wrote this thing at this time in his life. What did that mean? What was he going through? Like, what can I remember? Like, was this a certain phase where Jeffrey was like really into poetry, or like, was this a phase where like Joseph was dealing with this, or was this, where Cecil was at this point in his acting, what he was working on. So like seeing those kind of pieces and being like, well, we know where they're at. So let's try to figure out what's going on with them. It's kind of it's a really cool thing. It's like a little bit we get to like read their diaries, and like see inside their heads, because it's this, their biggest creations of this time of their lives. We're getting to see what they were, and we have the context for what they were going through and who they were, and like kind of seeing that reflected.
It's also funny that the central, like, given that this is the conversation we're having right now, and that's where this is going, which is great, is sort of the central thesis of this episode is the idea of how we experience memories and those younger versions of ourselves, and that, the truth of that time always pales in comparison to either what we believe and what we felt, and that's how we project back onto things. Right. So it's impossible to have a clear. I mean, geez, I spend time in therapy on this specifically. My last session was specifically about, like, let's go back and, let's talk about things that happened in the past, and how you're currently who you are, whether good, bad, or indifferent, will color in a major way what you see when you look back, and what will be accentuated and what will stick out. Even in this case, the crazy, like, this is an alternate reality that never happened, that I have no memory of. But that idea of how pliable the past is, and that idea of talking to them and you want those answers to kind of nail it down in a way and make it more concrete rather than abstract. Yeah,
some sort of touchstone to something that is concrete that we can kind of sink our feet into the ground of. Yeah, concerning memory, especially like going back with what Cecil's experiencing, being like, wait, I don't ever remember interning. I don't have a brother.
He doesn't remember having a brother. Yeah. That's pretty intense. Like, you don't even remember your brother, or like he doesn't exist for you anymore. Like, that one like stuck with me. I was like, okay, because his brother was like obviously in the tapes was like pretty not nice to him. And then he like disappeared. And at the end, when he was like, oh, I'm looking in the mirror, and he can see something like out of the corner of his eye, something's flickering or whatever. And then it's like that choking sound or whatever. Didn't it sound like it was starting to like change his voice to Cecil's voice?
Ooh, I didn't think about it that way, but yeah.
Ugh.
It's aging him by choking him.
Yeah, like it was like almost like manually manipulating his vocal cords. That's what I thought of.
This whole episode is so creepy.
Yeah.
In a way that, look, all the episodes are creepy. It's weird to say. This was the episode where Night Vale went creepy, but there is something like slumber party scary about it, where you have all worked yourself into the worst fear that the scariest and most impossible thing will happen. And this episode is that happening. Like that specter that you hear getting closer and closer, and then it reaches out, and it's scary. This episode and next week's episode are the two scariest to me. Ugh.
Yeah, it does make you, because when he first starts, like he's like, oh, what was that? It first starts out like really subtly. And then when he starts singing the fight song, and then that was creepy, because it was like weird, like slowing down of music and warping of music that definitely sounded fight song-y, but it was like a demented one,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was upsetting.
It's very, there's lots of creep in this episode. One thing that I always find specifically creepy in horror is when like people don't remember doing things and they do something horrible. Like they don't have control over their bodies in any way. And so like this kind of thing where it's like he doesn't remember any of this stuff happening, but it's proven to him with factual recordings. So like,
yeah, that he actually interned there. Like he doesn't even remember doing all that. And like, the stuff about Leonard, like he remembers who Leonard is, but he doesn't remember like working with him. And you think like, especially it having taken over for him, that would be something very influential. You know what I mean? Like if you had spent time with your mentor and were like, oh, I'm learning under you and like seeing what I can do to be a real radio man, like he says in the tapes, in the cassettes, then wouldn't you feel especially have a fondness for those memories? And it was as if he had never even experienced that, which is like super creepy. But like maybe his memory was wiped at some point. I mean, think of all the things that we were like, oh yeah, he's been adjusted by like the city council and things like that. It could have wiped out memories like that for him, I think.
I love that. I have an alternate idea where wherever he came from, let's assume the Cecil in this world is from an alternate universe where that recording was made. As he was an intern, which is what sent him to this place. Whatever terrible thing happened to him, doomed him to our eternity, and every single intern who is gone is over in that reality. That's where Jesus is. By the way, this is my favorite favorite intern dying story so far, by the way. Of the, the usual. We can't even deal.
He was like, oh, I guess he must not be here anymore. So sorry, bye. Like to the family. Those are always the saddest ones to me because you're like, how could you just forget about this poor person? Like, you just expect them to like either be there or they're not. And you're like, oh, well, I guess they're dead or whatever.
Yeah, sorry, the usual. Sorry, I'm distracted.
Ugh.
Sorry about your son, Jesus. I shouldn't have sent him over to the bottomless rock pit to investigate. It's a rough job. I mean, his interning job sounded pretty easy.
Yeah.
Cecil's did in retrospect or in comparison to what all these others have to do.
Yeah, I'm super into this theory, Hal, where it's like as an intern, he got killed and then sent to this reality. And so the interns are just kind of being pushed backwards and forwards through reality, different realities. Yeah.
Do you think they get their college credit, though?
Oh,
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think they do. I think that would be only fair.
Yeah.
Or maybe I wonder if they're each in a different reality where they're the host of Night Vale Radio.
Yeah.
Did they all, because if they all wanted to be interns, I mean, this is the time, and it said in the beginning, it says that Cecil's name was written on the tablet.
Yeah, the tablet,
right.
The young tablet, the tablets at City Hall. So, if there are an infinite number of realities, then there's one in which each of these people is the host of Night Vale Radio. That's something I am very. We talked last week in the fan zone about which characters we'd like to see. I'd like to see a few of these interns as they matured to become the hosts of Night Vale Radio in their realities, wherever they went because I don't think they all went to the same place.
No.
Now, this is developing. This is a very young theory.
Yeah. Because in the last episode, I was like, they're all together in some sort of purgatory thing trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
which would be great.
It could be, yeah. Which it could be a solo effort, though. Yeah, I think exploring the many possible realities. That's the great thing about multidimensional world building is that there are no bounds. You can just keep layering and layering.
Yeah.
I love when there's no rules. It's really great.
It's freeing.
It's very freeing.
It is.
Yeah. We have this going on with Leonard. A lot of the this it's kind of heavy and creepy, but there's a lot of really cutesy things in here. Like there's the opening of Big Rico Cecil talks about.
Yeah, and the burning down.
Yeah, Sammy's ultimate sliceria got burned down. And then there's a thing that I found really cute was the different sign-offs that he's trying to come up with a sign-off. Like Leonard has a sign-off that is and Leonard always says, "See ya, Night Vale, see ya." And then Cecil kind of starts to develop his, which is really cute.
I just also love the word sliceria, and I don't know why there aren't more places called slicerias.
Yeah, it's a great name.
I'd go to a sliceria, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I bet you they'd be like $2, $2 or $3.
Oh my, yeah, and come with a drink.
Yeah.
$2. Get a lunch special. Comes with a Pepsi. Does every single pizza place on earth have Pepsi instead of Coke? Is that just a deal that pizza places have, or am I imagining that?
Any place where you can get a can, I feel like it's always Pepsi or like a brisk iced tea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The entire family of Pepsi product. Like if you go any place where they serve pizza and like you sit down, you're like, can I have a Coke? You'll always hear, we have Pepsi. Is that okay?
Yeah.
That is in fact, the guy on the pizza boxes, the horrific, like if Mario was a pizza maker, he's always making the okay sign. He's saying we have Pepsi. Is that okay? That's what it means. That's what it means. We figured it out. Oh, I'm solving it all. My wife is right over there. She's working. Jennifer, I figured out the okay sign on the pizza. She's giving me the okay sign. It's fine. I should just be grateful I had this victory by myself.
No, it's important that you share it with your wife who's working across the room from you.
That's true.
It's only fair. I mean, it was in your vows.
That's true. I promise to share all pizza-related discoveries with you.
It's in the ketubah. That's directly behind your head.
It's in the ketubah. A lot of people can't read Hebrew, but that's what it says. Mm-hmm. Ketubah means pizza info.
So Cecil's Jewish, and this is kind of the first time we get that. And then there's also a fan brought this up in an email that I don't know if we're going to get to in the FanZone, but it's talking about like Judaism and in Night Vale and the thing with the mirrors and the covering of the mirrors. Like we have the whole thing about Cecil being you're going to be killed by your double and stay away from the mirrors and all that stuff. And then the mirrors are covered and then the mirrors aren't covered. And the like tradition of Shiva for mourning in the Jewish faith, they cover all the mirrors in the house.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, they do. We did not when my mother passed away. I think because it just felt too creepy and we didn't think she would like it. But yes, you're supposed to cover the mirrors. I can't remember if that's like to keep spirits from escaping or
I was going to say, do ghosts get in there?
I thought it was like because you're in the I thought it was because like you're in the period of mourning, you're not supposed to be concerned with what you look like. Like it's okay you can look however you want to look or look however you need to look. Don't be concerned with your appearance because like your concern is to mourn this person.
Well, that sounds way better than anything I came up with.
Than like devils coming out of your eyes. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like Jewish, like, the Jewish mythology of evil ghosts that fly around at night using mirrors as a portal around your house. Cover that up. There's already a new soul among them. You don't want to be haunted by your dead relatives. Yeah, it's probably.
It's also like
what you said.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to work. You're supposed to just be, and like I think I don't know. For me, making my face look like anything is work. So.
Oh no!
Not
You're
true.
Beautiful.
You're beautiful.
I know I'm beautiful. I know
true.
I'm beautiful. I'm not fishing here. I'm just saying that putting on makeup is work, and we should be compensated for it.
That's true.
I can put on makeup without a mirror, though.
Yeah, use your phone.
I do. Well, no. I mean, I could probably do it without anything, and not look totally crazy. Oh, maybe I'll do that as a challenge.
Let's both do that. I think.
Would you guys like to see that, fans? I'm asking you.
I'll do it too.
The answer is yes.
I'll do it with y'all.
Will you?
Sure.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Anaheim.
Okay.
Yes.
Do our makeup without a mirror. I think I could do it.
See how it turns out. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
I think I might be able to. I don't think it would be terrible.
Eyeliner, mascara, and everything. Like a full face.
Blush, rouge.
Blush is easy. You just have to hit your cheekbones.
Rouge is for whores.
I'm expressing myself.
You pinch your cheeks like a lady.
I take safety pins and jab myself in the face.
You're like,
look at that ruddy-cheeked angel.
I love in this episode the word from our sponsors, which is about the moon. When you die, the surface of the moon will not change. And it just goes on this big thing about how all this stuff is going to go on, but the surface of the moon is not going to change. Nothing will change about the moon when you die. It will still be the same, still the moon, still there, still the moon. Which I think is, a really interesting sentiment. And like on a micro level, I have that every time I leave my house and go on tour, where it's like... You leave and you leave everything as it was, and you come back and it's exactly as it was. You have done so many different things and so much about you has changed, but your house has stayed exactly the same.
I love that feeling.
It's kind of creeps me out.
Really? No, it makes me feel comforted because I always consider my home to be not a tomb, but like a shrine. A shrine or something to myself. Like, it's the safest place for me because I know I can go in there and be comforted and like snug down and like feel safe and like relaxed or whatever. So if I came home and something was different, that would freak me out.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I want like all my shit to be moved, like a faceless old woman incident to happen. I don't want that. I'm saying that like it's creepy when objects that you're always using and always with, and then you go away from them and come back and they're all still there. Like
in that
it's
same
like
place,
looking, it's like looking at like sunken ships and stuff, like things that are like abandoned houses, things that are like exactly in their place when no one has used them or no one could even possibly use them because they're at the bottom of the ocean. And it's like there's all this stuff is still there. So yeah, that's kind of just where I went with the moon, not changing at all with you dying. There's a much bigger thing there where it's like this whole world and we're only tiny bits of it and we don't change. You know, like we have these things and the moon doesn't care because it doesn't have to care. But also the Titanic.
They could have both fit. They could have fit on that door. I think a lot of this language in this episode, like especially when you get a little bit more of the reflective parts towards the end after the moon bit, like the whole last paragraph or whatever was may we all remember what it was like to be so young, and may we remember it factually and not remember anything that is false or incorrect. And I love this part. May we all be human, beautiful, stupid, temporal, endless. It's true. Like our lives are like so finite and fleeting, and yet when we look back on the memories of our youth or things, they can be colored differently by the experiences that we've had, and seeing how we've changed, you know, like because of those things, in spite of those things, can be really interesting. And so I don't know, it just made me feel very reflective on I think also because I was recently talking about how I got involved with Night Vale and like my friendship with Cecil and who we were in college and things like that, and how different that is from who we are as people now. Still the same, but different, you know?
Yeah. Just so plastic when we're young, you know, like our brains aren't fully formed yet. It's just, there's such a stark difference, but a really like, it's us, but it's not us. It's like,
right, like things, because like you either haven't gone through those experiences or you don't realize that you have another choice. Like I was just thinking about this today, like the choices that I made or the things that I thought back then, like when I was in college or in high school, were just because that had been what I had been raised or seen in my life. Like, you know, like I had gay friends, but I had never met a person who was transgender that I knew of. Do you know what I mean? And now like my experience of what that means to me and like meeting a person who's transgender or a person who is non-binary or something like that, my view of that whole thing has changed to be, I don't know if I would have reacted the same way. You know, if this whole thing was happening back then, what would I have thought? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've just been thinking about that lately. I think because it's been a lot more in the news and stuff like that. But, you know, like, so if you think back on your belief systems and who you were and what you wanted and what you thought you wanted then and where that is now is like completely different. It's just fascinating.
Yeah. Another thing I liked about liked or experienced about this episode was the part where it is in the final like wrapping up section where he's talking about He just says, listeners, especially our younger listeners, consider this. When we talk about teenagers, we adults often talk with an air of scorn or expectation for disappointment. And this can make people who are presently teenagers feel defensive. But what everyone should understand is that none of us are talking to the teenagers that exist now, but talking back to the teenagers that we ourselves once were. All stupid mistakes and lack of fear and bodies that hadn't yet begun to slump into lasting nothing. So, and any teenager who exists now is incidental to the potent mix of nostalgia and shame with which we speak to our younger selves. So yeah, it's true. I feel like whenever I'm talking to the youth, or like my like younger family members, that like really I'm just trying to give myself advice back then. Like I'm just like, this is what I should have done. This is what I should have heard. And like, this was the experience that I had that I loved, and you love it too because I loved it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would never be young again. You couldn't pay me.
Oh, you couldn't pay me to be young when the internet existed. Oh my God. Or like the internet existed when I was young, but not the way it does now.
Not
like social
now,
media.
yeah.
My God. I feel like social media came to me at the time when I could just barely handle it. And I was like a freshman in college when Facebook happened. And I was like, this is okay. But if I had a Snapchat when I was like 9, my God.
No. Very grateful not to have any of that.
Yeah.
Very,
I would have
very
taken
grateful.
a lot of stupid pictures and videos and would have definitely never been president.
I would have gotten in so much trouble. My God. I was always like running my mouth and saying horrible things and doing the wrong thing. And like, I would just be doing that on such a bigger scale. Oh God.
And like, I don't think you realize also like the permanence of the internet when when you're very young sometimes.
The stuff you think that is funny, especially even when you're starting out in comedy.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff needs to be impermanent most of the time. Because hopefully you learn and evolve and grow unless you happen to be an elevated human being. So you need space to fail where it's not part of your public record.
That's like, so my friends went to a wedding this weekend and like one of the young cousins was hanging out, like they were like had a bus or something to the reception from the wedding. And he kept being like to the other kids, you know how you spell Disney? D's nuts. And like, why is that funny? It's funny to when you're 12, but it's not funny now.
Yeah.
You can't just say D's nuts and then it's like hilarious. Although it is kind of funny.
I wanted to talk about the Strix Corp, where he does the important message from Strix Corp Synernists, Inc., which is not what it is originally written in the text, but then became it because that is how he recorded it. So
wait, what was it?
It is Strix Corp Synergists, which is how it was written, and Cecil read it as Synernists, which is how he read it, and then it became that from then on. And then also there's a missing paragraph in this episode.
Wait, what?
So at least when I was listening to it and reading along, there's a part that's in the text that was not on the episode.
Oh.
So the ad was, having problems at the home? Strix Corp can help. Strix Corp is the best solution for all problems. Just apply Strix Corp to all affected areas. Ask your doctor before using Strix Corp. May cause cramping and transformation. And then it goes into Strix Corp, the best in the business of being the best. And then it's just... Cecil just reads "Think Deeply About Meadows" and does all the Meadows stuff.
Yeah, no. Wasn't reading along in this one. I was on the train and I hadn't brought my book, and so I didn't even realize that until I was just looking at it just now. Wow.
Yeah, so I noticed that there was there's like 2 paragraphs that are missing from the episode that are in the book, and then also I knew this from before that synergists Cecil misread and became Synernists, and then it became Synernists forever.
Because Synernists, I was like, that's not a word, but I was just like, well, Joseph always makes up stuff, so I was just, I'm one of those people, I just go with the flow. I'm like, oh, you meant to call them June or Judy or whatever?
Yeah.
Cool. Or you didn't, I don't know. I just accept whatever comes. You know what I mean? Yeah, I just heard the part about the meadows. Meadows are important. Think deeply about meadows. And I was just like, why are they trying to hypnotize us about meadows?
Yeah, it's a whole Strix Corp thing that just got dropped.
I thought there was like a hidden message or something, but I'm too dumb to figure it out.
That's why we're here.
But nope, I'm just smart enough because there was just missing parts. Mm-hmm. Great. Okay. Thank you for making me feel better about myself.
Yeah.
Meg?
Thank you. Thank you all for being here.
Up next, we hear from fans and friends of the podcast about their theories, comments, and questions. But first, conversation about this episode's weather, which is Big Houses by Squaloscope. What'd y'all think?
I thought it was nice.
It sounded like some other band that I couldn't put my finger on the whole time. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I couldn't think of what band either, but there was something familiar about it.
It's like Regina Spektor, but not, or like, yeah, I couldn't quite land it. But yeah, I liked it. I thought it was lovely. That was a lovely moment. I thought she has a lovely voice, and I liked the kind of looping nature of it.
Yeah, especially towards the end. I can't remember the line exactly, but I do this sometimes with songs. Like, if someone repeats a line, and it's of the same, tune, I'll start singing it. And I had my headphones on, and I was like walking down the street from the train, and I was just like, la la la, la la la, like sing it. And then this person came up and walked right past me, and I was like, ah! So I scared myself and someone else. So that was my experience with the song.
The Squaloscope. So yeah, she's a one person act that goes by Squaloscope. She also goes by Paper Bird sometimes.
Oh, that's
her
confusing.
name is Anna Kalwes. I'm getting that wrong. She's Austrian. She's based in Vienna, I believe. Yeah, she plays a lot of shows in Vienna.
Oh, I should have seen her when I was there a few days ago. Oh well.
Wah wah.
I missed out.
Hanging out in Wien.
Cool. I liked it.
Yeah, good stuff.
Good stuff. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba.
Woo! Let's get into the fan zone. Yeah, fan zone. Friday night, fan zone. Thursday night, fan zone. Getting tight.
Can I please have a clean recording of you going ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba so I can make it my text notification on my phone?
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
Stay right there. Good Morning Night Vale will return after a brief break.
This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
Guys, we're in the FanZone CalZone. MJ writes to us, "Hey guys, eventually you're going to be coming to my favorite episode, Cassette. Eventually is today, my friend. I love how we get to take a look back at young Cecil before the episode Best Of. I feel like this helps set up the later idea of the multiverse fracturing and different Night Vales bleeding together. I imagine these cassettes came from the universe where there was a nuclear fallout in the 80s. The one where his brother ends up with radiation sickness, or so it's implied. This would explain why Cecil doesn't remember his brother, but he does his mom. Maybe he doesn't have his sister in the universe where the cassettes come from. I'd also like to imagine that Cecil in the universe we know didn't intern at the radio station.
Oh, yeah.
Or he doesn't remember his past because the city council has imposed so many re-educations on him, probably for waxing poetic on air, that everything has changed. I'd like to think that Abby transitioned from male to female in his adult life because of the city council's incompetence, but he only remembers her as a sister. He loves her nevertheless. This theory doesn't fit well with Best Of, but it's nice to consider. Also, Strex Corp. Good morning, MJ." So yeah, so we had a similar theory that we happened across too, but with the Cecil with the re-educations.
See, that's what I was saying. MJ, they know what's up. They know what's up. Me and them are on the same wavelength because I think one too many brain wipes, and maybe you start forgetting big stuff in your life, like not the stuff that's just like short-term memory. It's like long-term big stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they could have taken the person, like MJ said, taken the brother and turned it into Abby, the sister. You don't know, or like brought Abby in, or like when in Buffy when the sister just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it could be a total Dawn situation,
right?
Yeah. Also, that idea, maybe if the multiverse, it occurs to me, maybe the tape got through, and he is the version that lives where he is. I don't know. It's all bizarre, and it all makes sense. I think Symphony, your theory, and MJ, they had a very good theory as well. Like that, like those are both very good. Like everybody's right. God, I love it. I do love it. I sincerely love it that we can all be right, but also all be in awe of each other's. Like, yeah, you're 100% right. It could absolutely be that. It could be the re-educations. We know that the government is throwing people into vans and working them over. I assume with lead pipes, but who knows? Who knows how that goes? But yeah, 100%.
I keep thinking they have flashy rays like in Men in Black.
Do
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, let's see what Alexa says. Alexa writes, "Hello, Meg, Symphony, and Hal. Hello to you. I hope you're all having a very nice day. My name is Alexa, and even though I like the song, no, I will not play Despacito. Side note from Hal, do not get the reference, barely know that song."
Wait, no, it's because Alexa is like...
Is in Despacito?
Amazon. No.
What?
Like Amazon.
The Amazon Echo. Alexa.
The Echo.
Hi, Despacito.
Oh, because of the commercial. Oh, I see. I get it. Alexa?
Good job, Grandpa.
Alexa, make Hal understand.
For everyone who's listening to this right now at home and has their Alexa on.
Oh, yeah.
Alexa, buy Welcome to Night Vale novel. Go.
Alexa, send Hal $500 cash, tax-free. Anyway, Alexa says, I have been listening to Welcome to Night Vale consistently since 2014 and enjoying it for the entire time as well. And it's been really fun to hear all of your perspectives on the different episodes as people who have been such an integral part of Night Vale. Thank you very much. That's me adding that. Plus, you're all amazing and super talented, and I appreciate all of the work you guys do. And side note to Hal, I also really enjoyed your roles in Beyond Belief and Sparks, Nevada. The Thrilling Adventure Hour was also super fun to listen to. I appreciate that. Check out Moonshine Holler if you like my work in those other two, because I get to really go nuts in that one. Episode 33, Cassettes, was definitely an eye-opener just by emphasizing how absolutely bizarre Cecil is, even within Night Vale, and the fact that he doesn't remember much of his history prior to starting to work at the radio station. I have a theory about why Cecil doesn't remember his past. Night Vale is a giant Schrodinger's box, so everything and everyone exists in a quantum state of both doing and not doing an action. But what actually happened is crystallized through the radio broadcasts. So basically, by being the voice of Night Vale, Cecil is lifting the lid of the box and seeing if the metaphorical cat is alive or dead, because he's reporting on what is happening at that moment. However, because the town is in flux any time there isn't a radio broadcast going on, things still get funky even with the broadcasts, such as this potential evidence that in one of these iterations, Cecil died as a teenager because of what came out of the mirror, but Cecil is also alive and listening to the cassette of his own death. Wow. Anyway, a couple more theories and questions for your entertainment.
Dang.
We're rounding third right now,
It was a big one, yeah.
Yeah. Number one, what do you think is the status of marijuana in Night Vale? This person is looking for permission. I get to think about this as both a medical student and someone who lives in a state where marijuana has been legalized.
Hell yeah.
I can't decide if city council would legalize it in an attempt to create super marijuana to control the entire population of Night Vale with municipally regulated snacks, or if they stick their fingers in their ears and insist that all of the marijuana is really Italian herbs. Number two. What are your thoughts on how children come to be in Night Vale? Even though I have no idea if Carlos and Cecil would want to become parents, it would potentially be extremely cute if what happened, although given Cecil's love of small fluffy animals, it's equally possible that they would end up with several hypoallergenic fur babies. Personally, I believe, and at the end of that, it's that emoji you make where you have a X and a D. So it's like you're laughing, but your eyes are closed because you're laughing so hard. Personally, I believe that the Night Vale maternity ward is an enormous room with several chutes coming out of the ceiling that glow vivid neon colors and occasionally drip delightfully scented slime. And when a baby is coming, a notification is sent to the parents via Screaming Raven to come and catch their baby before it falls out of the chute. Seriously, did Joseph write this? I feel like Joseph and Jeffrey, this could be a description of the actual maternity ward. I think that wraps it up for me now. But thank you all again for the work you guys do. It's absolutely fantastic, and you all rock. Have an excellent day, hopefully with some really good food. Alexa.
So yeah, we have this novella from Alexa with so much stuff in it.
Wow.
I particularly enjoyed the Schrodinger stuff. I thought that was interesting that Night Vale's a giant Schrodinger's box, and it's these, the recordings are we're getting data and facts from the box via recordings, and that is what is lifting the lid on the box. I think that's a really cool take.
Mm-hmm.
And what do I think the status of marijuana in Night Vale is? Wow, yeah.
I don't think they even they think about it. I don't think they think about it.
Do you think they use drugs in Night Vale? Like, are there drugs and alcohol in Night Vale?
I don't know. I think there's definitely wine. I don't know why I never thought there might be marijuana there. I'm sure. I mean, there's marijuana finds a way. You know what I mean?
I feel like kids are cutting up and snorting nightmares. You know, like weed just seems too simple for Night Vale. Right?
Yeah, it does seem a little too tame. Because then everybody would be like, well, what if, I think the farmer.
John Peters?
You think John Peters is getting high?
I think he gets high.
What would make you think that?
He's always like, there was this in the sky. And you're like, okay, dude. What are you talking about?
I feel like old woman Josie, may she rest, spoilers. I feel like she probably was using medical marijuana. I feel like they were Josie was prescribed it for her glaucoma, and maybe that's why she saw those angels.
Oh, she does need it for her glaucoma.
Yeah.
I feel like there's weed in Night Vale. I feel like it's similar to how it is here. Why not?
I'd hope so.
Sure.
We'll say yeah.
We're all right. Everyone's correct.
Yeah.
And how children come to be in Night Vale. Well, when a tentacled being loves another multi-bodied being, they do a dance of love, and then they make a baby, and then the baby comes through the mail, and you open a door and there's a baby. Sometimes it's just a hand. Sometimes you just wake up and there's a baby in your house. I don't think there's a hospital for babies. I think they just show up. You are not expecting it. You didn't do anything to get it. Yeah, doorbell, it's like ding dong ditch.
You open the front door and there's a baby standing there in a 1940s suit with a hat and a full-size suitcase. And they're just like,
I'm your baby.
Yeah. Dad. Which room's mine?
It's got a cigar coming out of its mouth.
Yeah. I need my own toilet.
Yeah, okay, that's the headcanon for it. Period. Next up, we have Jillian. Jillian writes, Hi. First off, I really hope I'm not late. You're just right in time. I'm a bit behind on the show, but I don't believe I saw you guys cover this episode in my feed. Cassette has been my favorite for a long time, and so far still holds its place in the top 3. But that's not important.
It's important to me, Jillian.
I didn't have anything very groundbreaking to say, but I'd like to hear your guys' view. Cecil mentioned several times about not remembering the tapes, but after the audio of him choking becomes obviously upset and crushes the tapes, and then goes and covers the bathroom mirrors. I feel it's obvious something traumatic happened to him, and he's repressed it thus far. But what's more worrying is how he can't seem to remember anything. Through the series, we seem to learn more about how little Cecil actually knows about himself. He doesn't know what he looks like, his age, his birthday, his family, and much of his past. I guess what I'm getting at is why Cecil has forgotten so much and knows so little, yet seems to be at the center of everything in Night Vale. Heck, out of everyone in Night Vale, Huntokar keeps trying to tell him what happened. Now, I know Night Vale is very big on covering things up, and it's not the first time someone can't remember most of their life, but it feels odd to me how a lot of it seems to be tied to that incident with the mirror. For example, I believe it's Door Ajar Part 3. During couples therapy, he mentions not knowing what he looks like and looking into a shattered mirror. I apologize for all of this. but I think I'd regret it if I didn't say anything. I hope you guys have a great day. Jillian. Thanks. We will have a great day, Jillian.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to assume that this is Jeffrey Craner's wife.
That's obvious. That much is clear.
And you know, I don't know. I still strongly believe that he has had his memory wiped on so many different things, and because he is always staying so constantly in the present as a narrator and as a person, and doesn't seem to go too deep into things or think too hard on all these things. And I think it's just because he doesn't have any memory of anything else, because he's been flashied too many times. That's what I'm going to keep calling it, flashied.
Sure.
What do you guys think? Hello?
I saw you. I feel like we both did the same move. We were like, who's talking first? I think, the thing that kind of hit me was how scared he is after hearing the tape and like trying to crush it. I think that's less that he did something terrible. In my mind, it's just the creepiness of this intense moment that you have zero, like you just have no memory of it, whether it's because you've been clicked or not, or just because it didn't happen to you, it happened to another version of you. And if that was your realization in that moment, you'd be creeped out too. And immediately your thought is like, oh, if I get rid of this tape, then it didn't actually happen, and I can get rid of it and just make sure our mirrors are covered. So I know it didn't happen. You're just looking for reassurance that it's not real in any way, shape, or form.
But it is real, Cecil. Yeah, I think it's interesting. Yeah, that it's his trauma that he's blacked out. That it's because it's such a traumatic thing for him. Him, being killed by the flickering, that he's blocked it out, and that's why he doesn't remember.
Mm.
Well, I'm gonna stick with the idea that maybe, I understand he got scared, but I think maybe he got scared because he doesn't remember that sort of thing. But I think the strangling was the thing of him, whatever flickering happened. I think maybe what if something got inside his body and that's how his voice changed like that? And that's why it was that choking sort of sound. And that's why he doesn't remember anything either.
He's possessed.
Body snatched. Bitch, body snatched.
Or is it Superman 3 and he killed another version of himself?
Mm.
Ooh, like he jumped through the mirror?
Yeah, and he killed the thing that happened is he killed that Cecil. Kill your double, remember?
Damn.
He's already killed one double.
Minds are exploding all over America now. Minds and hearts. Well, thanks, Jillian.
Joey writes, hello, guys. In the 33rd episode, Cassette, teenage Cecil talks about having a brother, to which adult Cecil muses about how he doesn't have a brother, doesn't remember one. We know that he has a sister. My theory is that Cecil's sister is trans, or that whenever someone transitions in Night Vale, everyone literally forgets that they were any other gender than the one that they're presenting now. In my headcanon, there's a lot of government-mandated paperwork to be done, and everyone is subjected to re-education until no one is able to remember a day that Cecil's sister was, once upon a time, a brother, including Cecil. Much love. Yeah. Much love from the Philippines. Been a huge fan of this podcast since it started, and a huge fan of Welcome to Night Vale around the same time as the Faceless Old Woman episode first came out. Named after a baby kangaroo, Joey.
Yeah, what a great signature, Joey.
That is,
thank you.
Joey,
That's
that is
adorable.
a gift. And also great. That is a very interesting theory that I had obviously, not thought of it at all, but why not? Why could that not be true?
Yeah.
I can't think of a reason.
Why could the government just not be shitty to trans people?
Yeah. Could you imagine such a thing?
Could do something to help them in their transition and help society help them transition.
Yeah.
Right.
How weird. This is interesting because Joey said had mentioned something about maybe that Cecil's sibling was just trans, and that's why there is this kind of don't remember having a brother, have a sister. So the first, I think MJ mentioned as well that maybe Cecil's sibling was trans, and that's why there is the confusion. I like that this is they're like, well, here's the simple solution. It's just they just transitioned.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I think that's great, and actually would make a lot of freaking sense. And especially if he was getting flashied for stuff, like they're like, no, you just won't ever remember that it was a brother, and you just have a sister. That's it. And you're like, okay, great.
And the whole town has mandated re-education.
Yeah.
I think we could be onto something.
Interesting standpoint. I don't know. I don't think we need to erase the people's experience before their transition and erase that person completely off the memory of everyone. But I think it's interesting kind of as like a larger allegorical standpoint of like getting a community to accept someone's transition as just as valid as where they were before their transition.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying we just like it could be just like a fresh start for everyone for just life, not necessarily just for transition, just to be like, we don't remember what happened. Like, we're just moving on from here. That's it.
Sometimes it's good to black out the past,
Yeah.
Yep.
Sometimes you take a forget me now and you're ready to go.
We're coming to the end of this episode, but I feel like we haven't talked about food at all. So I guess it's just not happening for us right now, There wasn't a big food presence in this episode, and I think we all ate. Hal was eating as we started recording. Yeah.
I can take a bite of this cold garlic bread.
Do it. Into the microphone.
Oh, it's crispy.
Sounds good.
It's cold.
Oh.
I just thought we should just mention it. Sometimes, I'm not trying to like force it into the podcast, but I feel like we should acknowledge it,
You're not trying to force feed it?
I'm not trying to force feed it into the show.
Hey-oh.
But I just thought we should acknowledge it. I ate a lot of candy this weekend. I also have some Girl Scout cookies in my house, so that's kind of
what do you have?
Right now. I have the Samoas that are not called Samoas anymore, which is good because that was kind of shitty that they were called that. They're called Caramel Delights now.
I thought that was regional. Like there are two bakeries. One place it's Samoa's and one place it's Caramel Delights. Did they change the name?
No. I got the Caramel Delights. When I grew up, they were Samoa's, and I haven't moved regionally, so IDK. IDK. We can Girl Scouts. Please let us know.
Please.
I have the peanut butter sandwich cookies, and then the chocolate peanut butter cookies, and also the lemon sandwich cookies.
Are they called Savannah Smiles?
No, Savannah Smiles are like a.
Which ones are those?
They're those little lemon like shortbread. They look like a half moon. Because those are like the one and only kinds I like.
Joseph really likes those kinds. Symphony. My God, again, you and Joseph are food twins. We couldn't get our hands on them.
Twins.
What about Thin Mints? No Thin Mints?
No.
She was sold out of Thin Mints. Clean sold out of them.
Of course she was.
I do not like Thin Mints. I don't. I don't like chocolate and mint.
I don't like chocolate and mint.
No.
Do you also hate America?
Yes.
Fair enough.
JK.
On that note, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Good Morning Night Vale. We really appreciate you listening to what we have to say and writing in for this very pivotal episode of Welcome to Night Vale. We really appreciated getting all of your theories and questions and comments. There were a lot in the inbox about this episode in particular, so we really appreciate you sharing your thoughts on this one. The next episode is Beautiful Dream, where we will be talking about that episode, so see you in a couple weeks for that one. And as always, good morning, Night Vale. Good morning. Good Morning Night Vale is a Night Vale Presents production. It is hosted by Symphony Sanders, Hal Lublin, and Meg Bashwiner. It is edited by Grant Stewart. It is mixed by Vincent Cacchione. It is produced by Meg Bashwiner. Theme music by Disparition. Special thanks to our fans who submitted their thoughts this week. Leave us a voicemail at 929-277-2050 or email us at info@goodmorningnightVale.com to share your theories and ask questions, or to just have someone read an email from you a few weeks after you sent it. They will absorb it. They will wish they had time to respond, and then they will promptly move on with the rest of their lives. This show is powered by our patrons like Kristen Allen Vogel, Corey Pumroy, Joe Williams, Poke Fiction, and Robert Marvin. If you are interested in supporting the show in exchange for lots of fun, exclusive, hyper cool kid content, check us out at patreon.com/goodmorningnightVale. For more information on this show, go to goodmorningnightVale.com and follow us on Facebook and on Twitter at Night Vale Chat. Special thanks to Christy Gressman, Jeffrey Craner, Joseph Fink, and Adam Cecil. Today's adverb is occasionally. Occasionally, I don't know what to say for the adverb, and I stress about it and spend way too much time working on it.
I heard a line today from a song that I didn't know was from a song. Somebody left it as a comment in the show that I produce. And it was eat the booty like it's groceries.
Yeah. Eat the booty like it's groceries. Yep.
Jennifer, do you know that line? Eat the booty like it's groceries? What is it from? It's from My Fair Lady. It is. He's like, the rain in Spain falls mainly. Eat the booty like it's groceries.